You're listening to the Out of the Cave podcast with your hosts, Junior and the Captain. This is a podcast where we talk about the things going on in the world and share our opinions without worrying about political correctness. Remember, it's all about respect, keeping an open mind, and always having a good time. Captain,
what's going on, brother? What's up? Damn, it seems like yesterday that we did the podcast.
Yep. We're getting good at this now.
Well,
we're making some progress.
I wouldn't go that far, but slowly is getting there, man. Slowly.
Yeah, for sure. No, this has been a fun little exploration that we're doing here, and I'm excited. Another week. It's Friday, and I'm looking forward to this weekend. What about you?
Yeah, no, same thing, man. I need a little rest. I'm always saying that, right? Like I need rest. Like
Yeah.
I'm actually doing shit.
I think you need some vitamins.
That's probably what I need, man. I do have a lot of things. I got to get a lot of things done at the house, man. I just keep bullshitting, man. It's just sometimes you get lazy, man. You don't want to do shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it seems like at this time everyone is doing home improvements.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean pretty much everybody's finishing up now because everybody's going back to school and really getting back to work and all that. So yeah, everybody's like finishing up their home improvement that they started during the summer.
So I guess I should say I'm doing home improvements.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm trying to finish the shit that I started, I don't know, 5 months ago. I just keep bullshitting, like I said. Dude.
All I want to know is, can we ever get through a week without there being some kind of rioting or protesting on TV? Because I always come ready for this podcast to talk about some really kind of, shallow topics because it's fun, right? And all week long, it's just nonstop seriousness. And I just want to have some fun, but I feel like I can't really be silly with all this craziness going on in the world.
I know. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, again, we started this just so, like what you said, just trying to, bring some silliness into all this bullshit that's going on out there and all that. But yeah, it's very difficult, man, to do that especially when you're constantly being either berated with all kinds of messaging, via the social platforms, or just people saying stupid shit. I mean, like how many times can we actually just go up to each other and say, "Hey, what's going on with it?" And oh, damn, did you see what happened last night? Mm-hmm. Did you see this? Another person got shot. It's always something like that. It's never just like, "Yo, what's up, bro? What did you do?" Nah, we were just playing this and that. We were having a good time. We went dancing. This is not like that anymore.
No.
You know.
And I don't know if it's because maybe my friends are a little bit older. So, everyone is paying attention to the news cycle and all the stuff that's going on. And, maybe younger kids aren't. But I mean, younger kids are out in the streets. Like, this is a really weird time because, I wanted to talk about goofiness and people want to talk about the election and all the stuff that's going on. So, I mean, what are you thinking about this?
No, it's definitely an unprecedented time, man, because I've never seen, again, in the short period of time that I've been around, or at least paying attention to this stuff, I've never seen anything like this, man. I mean, people are just nuts. I mean, listen, again, you know how we always talk, we want to say, we don't want to talk about politics. It always comes up, and one of the things that actually was kind of crazy for me was the fact that yesterday, right, the president spoke. He accepted his nomination, and then that's it. Everybody goes home, right? One of the architects of the Breonna Taylor legislation, you know who Breonna Taylor is?
Yes.
So,
of course.
Yeah. So Breonna Taylor, right? So she was killed in a no-knock warrant by cops. They went and busted down through her door, and she got shot in the process. So Senator Paul Rand, he established legislation to prohibit police departments from doing no-knock warrants, right? Just knocking down the doors and just breaking in. So this guy was the one that established that, and is trying to get this legislation passed. And these idiots, these morons that were there in Washington, they jump him, assault him, they were trying to kill this guy, and he's the one that actually is trying to get this thing passed. And that's when that all this stuff that's going on is just bullshit, man. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with anything because these motherfuckers don't even know what it is they're trying to do. You know what I mean? They're just like out there just trying to harass, destroy shit, and that's it. They don't even know that the person that they're harassing is the one that's trying to help them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think they knew who he was?
But that's the point I'm trying to make. They're so fucking stupid that they're doing all these things, not knowing what the fuck to follow, who to follow, or they don't know shit about anything. And that's the point. The point is that you should be educated. If you're gonna go out there and you're gonna do any nonsense like that, or at least protest, know what it is that you're protesting. Know what it is, the topic. Know who it is that's behind you. These people don't know none of that stuff, and that's how you know that it's just mobs that are out there trying to destroy shit just for the sake of doing it. Because these fucking idiots, that's what they are. They're idiots. They don't know what the fuck is going on. And you know, in this particular case, the Democrat side, they don't acknowledge that shit, man. You know what I mean? They just like allow these people to do this shit, and that's it. And that's where a major problem between the two parties is at this particular moment. You know what I mean? It's a problem.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've said this before. I think the two parties are not working together on the, you know, on behalf of the country. They all have their own political agendas. There's no kind of negotiation, no kind of cooperation happening, and this is the result of it. And look, I'm I'm an independent person, I guess, is how I would describe it. You know, but I'm open to listening to everyone's ideas. But I agree. You know, number one, you know, going out and just kind of, you know, being violent is never the answer. I think it's definitely important if you want to exercise your right for free speech and you kind of want to protest and do that stuff. That's all good. I love seeing that kind of stuff. But there's one video that really gets me going personally there was a video where it was a couple of people sitting in like a cafe outside having lunch or dinner. And I guess some people were protesting, walking by, and they wanted them to throw their hands up in the air.
Oh, yes, right.
And
raise their fist, right?
Raise their fist. And so for whatever reason, the person didn't want to do it.
I think it was a female, right?
Yeah, it was a woman. And, you know, it's her right. Like, she can or she can't.
Yeah.
But, like, they surrounded her and, like, were yelling in her face and just kind of, like, intimidating her to, like, get her to raise her hand. And that's where the problem is. Number one, you know, they do that to the wrong person, they're gonna get beat up.
Yeah, but the worst, you know, what the worst part about that was, right?
Well, but let me just finish. You know, if you do that to the wrong person, you'd probably get beat up. But what I see, and this is the scary part for me, is I see it's like 5 or 6 like really skinny, nerdy looking people. So, you know, 5 or 6 skinny, nerdy looking people, they could still probably hurt somebody, but you know, on their own, they wouldn't do it. So I kind of feel like people are almost like getting high off of the power of the mob and whatever. They don't even care. Look, if I was going to be mad at Rand Paul, I'd be mad at him for his hairstyle. Bro, I am so sick of seeing that moppy sponge on top of his head. And like, if I were in the Senate or whatever, you know, and he's there, I'm going to take some clippers and we're going to fight it out. And then whoever loses has to shave their head.
The fucking guy's a doctor, man. Get yourself a brush, dude. I know you could afford it. You know,
maybe he thinks it looks cool, but
but going back really quick to your thing. You know what's actually worse, or you know what the worst part of that story that you were just telling is?
What is?
That girl that wouldn't, you know, put her fist up or whatever. Yo, the boyfriend or the guy she was dating or she was at the date with, that motherfucker gets up and does.
His hand up. Yeah, he had his hand up.
He gets up and like, what? That chick should have said, motherfucker, you better sit your ass down.
I know.
You know?
See,
but
that stuff's not right. You know, look, if you want to believe what you want, do what you want, and as we always say here, we don't always agree on everything. You know, we have different opinions, but hey, we get along, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Like, live and let live. But
not only
this
but
mob mentality, man.
What if that girl has been living in a cave all her life, and she has no fucking idea what these people are doing? Well, I'm supposed to go raise my hand and shit for something that have no idea. You know, I mean, hey, listen, you know how many people out there do not follow politics, news, or anything like that? They don't know what the hell's going on in some cases, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what? So now I'm gonna, you know, go up in front of them and just tell them, raise your hand for no particular reason, say her name. Come on, what kind of shit is that, man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's what I mean, because it's hollow. You know, or let's just say the mob won and she rose and she, you know, her hand went up. I mean, is that person really behind the message that they're trying to communicate? No,
come
they're
on.
feeling intimidated. So I think it works against the mobs when they do that. And so, I really hope that stuff kind of, I don't know how it's going to, I don't know how it's going to end, because then you get the extreme examples of that kid who was walking around Kenosha with like a rifle.
Yeah.
And he
well,
got
it wasn't
scared.
just him. There was, there was a group of guys that came out there trying to become deputized.
Yeah, like they were like defending a store or some sort of a business. But my point is, here he is. I was at the gym working out because we can go to the gym again.
Yeah,
and
you need it, bro.
Hey, look, I'm looking good. So you can say what you want. But I was watching it, and I wasn't sure if I was watching like a movie or what, because I see this kid running, then he falls on his butt. And then he starts shooting his rifle at people, and I was just like, "What?" Because in the gym you don't hear the volume because there's music going on.
Yeah.
So I just didn't understand. I was like, "What am I seeing? Was this kid like really shooting people right now? Because that's crazy."
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I didn't understand that either, and the main reason why I didn't understand is because this guy's got an AR-15, right? And he's running away from people. Dude, if you have an AR-15, I don't think you should be running away from people, right? I would just be standing my ground and saying, all right, yo, you want some? So we want some of this? Let's do this. But to be honest with you, I really don't know the story.
Yeah.
He was running away from somebody or from, I guess, a particular group. And then he stumbled, and then
he let him have it.
He said, yo, this is it. But
why? But if someone has an AR-15 or any kind of weapon and a gun in the middle of the street, I'm not going to run towards the guy. I'm going to run away from the guy.
Well, that goes to show you.
That's the part that I don't understand.
That goes
either.
to show you the craziness of these fucking people, man. They just don't care. They really don't care. And I mean, think about it like this: you got these mob, groups. They're going towards the cops. Every cop has a gun, so it's the same. It's the same theory, right? You're running towards the people with the guns.
No, that's true. But you would think with a cop, there's a little bit more restraint than some random.
Well, obviously, in some cases. Right. All right. Obviously, so some cases, right? Because they are. Listen.
Sadly,
yes. And again, it goes to show you that not everybody is meant to be a cop. Right. Because you're taught that. You don't just pull out your gun, man, just for
No, and I'm sure that's the other thing, because look, people get killed. If that were happening to me or someone I love, of course, I would be outraged just as much as the families of these folks, and I can sympathize. But to your point, or the point that I was thinking is, for every time you see one of these bad cops do a dumb thing, there's so many police officers out there doing the right thing 24/7. So it's a shame, because law enforcement does a really good job. But yeah, and there's always going to be those dummies, and I just don't understand. Again, I'm not in that situation.
Yeah.
But you would think that with all the sensitivity around the world and what's going on, that officers would be trained or just understand how to handle situations differently.
Yeah, but listen,
but that seemed like a rookie move. What I saw, but I'm not an expert, so I don't know. But he was like holding on to the guy's
I don't know
shirt. And then like firing into him, like he could have punched him. He could have done a lot of other things.
Well, they had already tased him.
But I'm just saying, like, you're so close. Was he going for a gun? I don't know the facts behind it, but I'm just saying it seemed kind of extreme.
Well, that's the thing. So we don't know, right? We don't know what the guy was reaching for inside the car, right? As soon as he opened up the door, I wasn't there. I don't know, right? And I can tell you this, many people would say, but he only had a knife. Listen, I'm gonna post some pictures of people with knives and what they've done to victims.
Don't post those pictures.
Well, I'm telling you, there's a reason why you'll shoot somebody with a knife, because trust me, these people with knives, they will seriously hurt you, man. So I get it in that aspect, that he was reaching for a knife in this particular case, right?
Did they say that that's what it was? Because I heard that they didn't release those details.
Yeah, they just released it. Maybe yesterday that I heard that the knife, there was a knife there on the floorboard of the car. Was he reaching for it? Again, I don't know. But I'm just telling you that there was a knife, and from what the video showed, it almost appeared like he's reaching or going towards it. Right.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right. With that being said, we can always Monday morning quarterback. And we can always say, yeah, well, I would have just like shut the door on his leg, and then this way he can't go nowhere, right? So you could grab the knife, and
fast.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So you could say all that. He could have shut the door, and then the guy's stuck right there, right? And he could reach for the knife all he wants, and la 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 la, right? But you just don't know what that cop is thinking at the time.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, also, there's no way, man, that you're gonna put 7 bullets in somebody's back, man, just like that. Just, you know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. I just don't see how that happens, man. But everybody is different. Everybody gets scared differently. And then at the end, also, the training aspect, that's a big player in this thing, man. I mean,
right.
a lot of people, they'll go to these training things. They won't pay attention, and that's never going to happen to me. And then all of a sudden, they're put in that situation, and look what they're doing.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, because number one, I think that's the thing that people forget. We're all humans, and so whether you are a civilian having a bad day, and I mean, I've been there where you're just having a really bad day, and for whatever reason, maybe a police officer or someone says something to you, and you're just like, what? Like, I'm not even doing anything, and you have that reaction. So I could understand that, and I would assume it's the same for a police officer. Maybe they had a really bad day. It's the end of someone's shift. And maybe they had a fight with their spouse or loved one. Who knows? And I'm not. Let me be clear. I'm not condoning anyone's actions. I'm just saying, as a human, people have bad days, and how they react to situations will vary depending on what's going on in their world. And that's it's just a sad fact of life.
Yeah.
It's not like we have RoboCops, where RoboCops are just going to be like robots, right? And just kind of say, freeze, don't move. And I always remember that scene in RoboCop 1 where I think RoboCop has that like directive, like a hidden directive, where he can't arrest or harm a member of the corporation, OCP, I think it was. And so he's like, you can't do anything to me. And then like the big CEO is like, you're fired. And then RoboCop's like, thank you. And then like he can blow the guy away, and he falls out the window.
Yeah.
It's not like that in the real world. It's not that black and white.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, if it was that black and white, then everybody would be a cop. I mean, it's just not. It's not. It's one. It's not like the way the media portrays it, and it's not. It's not an easy thing, man. I mean, again, I can't sit here and tell you, how to be a teacher. I don't know the first thing about being a teacher, right? I just don't know. It seems easy, I think, right? Get in front of a class with little kids and all that.
I don't know. You seem to tell everybody what to do all the time, bro. So.
Well, that's different. But what I'm saying to adults, I tell adults what to do all the time. But it may seem, right? Like you get up there, you're telling little kids, do this, do that, whatever. It's not easy, man. I mean, you have to go through training, right? Everything is training, man. Everything is training. Yeah. And, fortunately, all these incidents that are happening with cops, I think to me it's a lack of training. It has, in my personal opinion, it has nothing to do with racism or anything like that. It
could.
What I'm saying, in my opinion, I don't think, and the reason I say that is because we're only discussing certain incidents that are happening, and each one of them are right. A black person gets shot or whatever, right? But guess what? They're not the only ones that get shot, man.
No, that's true.
And we don't discuss those topics.
These are the ones that we're seeing.
Yeah, those are the ones that we're seeing. So that's why I'm saying that, in my particular opinion, I don't believe they're racist. I think it's a lack of training. That's what I think. But my opinion is probably not one of the main opinions that everybody looks at. So. Yeah, what can you do? I
think racism can play a part in it, and it's not just racism. It could be classism. It could be ageism. It could be, what is it for people who are like overweight? Weightism?
I don't know, man. But dude,
the point that I'm making is that who knows what maybe this guy's like, I'm gonna shoot this, beat this, that piece of shit. Like, and I don't mean to like make a joke of it, but you just never know. But to your point, it should never be that way. It should, if you're trained, that kind of stuff should be out of the equation. But unfortunately, from what we've seen, it is not always the case. So,
well, that's the thing. I mean, again, training will only get you so far.
Yeah.
The actual situation in itself is completely different. Again, everybody thinks that, if I'm training, just like anything, right? You train, you're super prepared, and then all of a sudden, somebody throws somebody throws this X variable in there that you're like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't remember seeing that one part of the training. What do I do here?
Yeah.
So what? You got to improvise, man. You have to start, thinking about these things, and hopefully the training that you already have get you past that. But, I mean, no matter which way you look at it, man, it's a sad state. It's messed up. I feel for the families, for the people that get shot and all that. It's we're all human beings, man. And, I don't know, man. I just think that the protests and all that, again, if you want to protest, go out there and protest. I just have to draw the line when it comes down to like destroying people's property or hurting other people. It just doesn't make any sense to me, especially when you don't know what the fuck you're doing out there. Like, again, what I was saying about the Rand Paul thing. Come on, man. This is the guy that's, helping you guys out, and you're over there trying to kill the guy and hurt the guy. Come on, man. Stop.
Yeah, no, it's true. And hopefully the situation, comes to a head and we see justice where justice needs to happen. And hopefully we can move past it. To change the subject a little bit, last night was the final night of the Republican National Convention, and I watched both the DNC and the RNC because, again, I like to have an open mind, and there was a lot of differences in between the two, and I don't want to really spend a lot of time on this, but this is something that I noticed. I noticed that for the Republican National Convention, they featured a lot of regular people. I noticed a lot of them were people of color, Latinos, and I noticed that they seem to focus on like specific issues that are happening. Not all of it, like it wasn't, there were some people who were saying they didn't like address COVID enough or the shooting enough, but they seem to be like touching base on a lot of things. And when I saw the Democratic National Convention, they seem to feature a lot of celebrities as if that was enough. So I don't know. For me, I'm watching the interweb and I'm looking at all of the different comments that people post on things, and I watch all the channels because I'm curious to know if that's going to move the needle, because there was a big difference. Whether you are a Republican or Democrat, whatever, I definitely saw a little bit of a difference in between the messages, and I'm wondering if it's going to be significant enough to change the tide. I kind of feel like it might.
Only time will tell, man. We will see. But to your point, perfect example in the Democratic convention. Can't remember the names and all that. But there was a person that got up there and was talking about criminal justice reform and how they also kind of like at one point were in jail and whatever, right? Things worked out for them and all that. Nobody said anything about that one particular person. They're just like, oh, great. I'm glad that this thing worked out for you and all that. And you got this other female yesterday. She's talking about the same thing that happened to her, right? She was in jail for a nonviolent offense or something like that. A drug offense.
Mm-hmm. She was serving a life term.
Yeah, and the president pardoned her or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or commuted her sentence or whatever. And all of a sudden now, black female, and now they're calling her that she was, or they're saying that she was a prop for the convention, right? They just put her up there because she was a woman of color, this and that. Do you see what I'm saying about the double standard, about what's going on?
Yeah.
And these are the kinds of things that nobody wants to hear that nonsense, man. Won't you? Hey, listen, both parties, they put two people up there, treat them equally. Now, this goes for the media aspect of it. You know what I mean? Because they're the ones really that are destroying what's going on over here in the United States, man. They really are, man. I really do believe that.
Technically, we're part of the media now.
Yeah, well, guess what? I'm not destroying anything.
Hey, man,
but this is what I'm talking. I was just, that's when you try to look at things with an open mind, and you want to be swayed one way or the other. But when you clearly see something like that, that, do I really want to belong to that organization? Do I want, or let me just stay away? I mean, I'll give you another perfect example. I was watching an interview today, and a female who had one of her business was burnt down in Wisconsin after this shooting, right? She was an independent voter, and they interviewed her, and they said she was saying that prior to that incident happening where her business was burnt down, she had no idea who she wanted to vote for. She just every time there's an election, she'll decide at the last minute who I'm going to vote for based on what she hears, right?
Right.
Well, guess what? They burned down her business. The lady on TV said, yeah, I think I'm going to be leaning more towards the person that actually cares about law enforcement, right? So these are the kinds of things that we discuss all the time, that you should have an open mind about what's going on and really calculate it, the best way possible with the information that's available to you, not just based on what somebody's telling you that this is the way it should be, right? Hispanics, right? You're a Hispanic, I'm Hispanic. Are we? I don't know. But, we're not supposed to be voting one particular way, right? We're different, right? So, I mean, we could be two Hispanics and all of a sudden you vote one way, I vote the other, right? Who is anybody to say that we need to vote the same way? Right? So, I mean, come on, man.
Or they just automatically know what we're going to vote just because of the spelling of our last name.
Correct.
And that's the problem. Yeah. That's the problem. Don't put us into boxes. Don't put us into specific positions.
By the way, man, when the fuck did this brown people shit come into play, man?
Brown people? What are you talking about?
Everybody talk about, the African American, the brown people, like AOC always says that shit. I mean, if AOC is calling me a brown people because I'm Hispanic, dude, my skin color ain't nowhere near brown or anything like hers, man. So, but who's the brown people? I mean, because that's some bullshit. That's some stupid shit that I never heard of before.
No,
man.
but that's interesting, because it's funny you said that, because I was talking to some young kids, meaning that they're younger than me, and I think it depends on, I always say where you sit depends on where you stand. I think that's what I say, and. In this case, the group of people that I was talking to included Hispanics and people from the Middle East. So they're also brown people. And so they told me that in their circles, they refer to each other as brown people. So now, in my mind, I'm saying, so they're referring to themselves as brown people. Hispanics, I'm assuming, are maybe referring to themselves as brown people in some cases also. But if you, in the news, if you were to say brown people, they have automatically kind of started training us to think that's Hispanics. But there's a bunch of other brown people out there too.
But that's exactly my point. They're not talking about anybody other than Hispanics, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's black or brown or white. That's what they draw these distinctions.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, what the fuck is wrong?
And I
think
that's the problem. And I think that's the problem, because you just assume. And listen, one of the best things about the U.S. and this is what kind of gets me too when people talk about other countries. One of the things about one of the best things about this country is that we have a diversity of people. You could have someone who looks Asian but speaks Spanish because where they grew up. You could have a dark-skinned person speaking Spanish. You have a light-skinned person speaking Spanish. We have people from all over the world in this country. There's such a diversity that it's really hard. Americans really make up the whole spectrum. And when you go to some countries, they're not as diverse as we are. So it's actually something to be proud of. But I feel like we just minimize it so much.
Yeah.
And it's just black, white. And man, I don't even want to have this conversation anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, look at it like this, man. If you go to Colombia, right? Colombia has dark people as black, man. And white people as white. Mm-hmm. And in between. Everybody gets along, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I mean, everywhere you go, they're always going to treat each other differently just because they're not, the same.
Yeah.
But it doesn't appear that it's that much of an issue as it is over here. You know what I mean? And I guess.
But that's interesting you say that, because I've, in recent research and just kind of conversations that I've had, there are people who have that Afro-Caribbean look, and they will say that they were treated differently than their relatives who were more fair-skinned. And that's an interesting thing, because I've heard that from other people. So, I think it's just one of those things that no matter what in society, there's always going to be a group looking down on another group for whatever reason. And I think it's something that's never going to go away, but the only way to address it is by having the conversation and talking about it. But you got to talk about it. You can't be burning buildings down and shit like that, because that only gets you so far. Yeah. And I understand the outrage, but that only gets you so far. It
Yeah.
cannot be. It cannot be that stuff is going to continue to happen.
Ultimately, man, it comes down to proving yourself, right?
What do you mean? You mean like-
Proving yourself as in you're like in other words, if they're saying all brown people, let me say that brown people, right, don't speak English and can't speak right. So now you have to prove to these idiots that, hey, listen, I speak is just as well as English as you do, and everything, right? So. They always talk about like, the immigrants are coming over here and taking our jobs away. Well, they're doing the jobs that nobody else wants to do, right? So again, proving themselves that, hey, listen, we didn't just come over here to take your jobs away. We're just trying to support our family. We're trying to work as hard as we can. So ultimately, to me, it comes down to you have to always prove to yourself or prove to everybody that you are not what they think you are, right? You're just a regular person trying to take care of your family, and that's it in the story.
Well, that takes us into a whole other show, because there are some people who say that because they are different, that they have to go above and beyond what someone else might have to do just to get ahead. And I know that I've experienced that myself. So, but that that's a subject for another day, to be honest. Look, we've already been talking about politics, and this is not really a political show. I mean, we want to talk about the current events of the world, but it's not just about politics that we want to talk about. There's something else that I wanted to mention to you that I just learned about, and it seems like it's a trend. Now, I was on top of like the whole vaping thing way before it started hitting, the mainstream media and stuff. I knew about vaping. I knew kids were vaping, and I was just like, man, this is a problem. Have you heard of this website called OnlyFans?
OnlyFans, no.
See, so apparently it's this website where people can. And I guess it's mostly women, but I guess it could be anyone. Like, girls will go on there, and then, you can sell pictures of your boobies or your body or whatever, and people like sign up, like subscribe. So they pay like, I don't know, $10 a month or whatever. I think you can you create like your own levels of subscription, and people pay you money to see your pictures. Now, I've never done this. And I would never pay. That's a completely stupid thing to me. I'm very surprised.
Yeah.
But apparently kids are making like money doing this, like young kids. So now I'm concerned because I saw a news article about Bella Thorne, who is a former Disney actress.
Okay.
And apparently, and so I do know who she is. And I'll be honest, she used to be on a show. My kids used to watch it. Like, I was actually like a fan. I found her to be a very talented young lady.
Okay.
And she's been in TV shows, and you probably have seen her. You just maybe you don't recognize the name. I don't know if you do, you don't. But apparently she set up her own OnlyFans account, and the news article I saw, it says something to the effect where she made like $1 million in like a day.
Wow.
And then there was like controversy because I guess she was telling her fans, hey, sign up. You're going to see like nude pictures of me. And then it wasn't like really nude. It was like, I don't know, like her, like a side boob or something like that, or like a bikini. Yeah. And so people were like, hey, I feel like I got gypped. And like,
sucker.
She made like $1 million in a day, or like $2 million in a weekend. So number one, I know kids today love the internet. They love Instagramming. They love TikToking. They love doing all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just know that there's going to be more kids OnlyFanning and like getting people to, sign up for stuff, because how easy is that to stand in your bedroom, strip down, and then you get a bunch of like, horny guys paying you money to do that kind of stuff.
And yeah, just to show a picture. You don't even have to do anything.
No, you're just standing there.
You're just standing there.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, maybe you do videos. The point that I'm making, though, is that that's scary. Like, I think that's going to be like become more of a problem because how easy that is. And people like this particular actress will just kind of bring more attention to it. And maybe that's the ultimate goal, because now I'm talking about it. People who never knew about this are going to hear about it. And there's going to be kids thinking, hey, I need money for like, Cancun, and let me just show them my feet, right? and see who buys.
And just tell them I'm showing something else.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know if they want to do false advertising, but the point is there's gonna be people only fanning, so I gotta watch out for like, the wifey and stuff. And
sheesh.
If all of a sudden she's buying a BMW, I'm gonna know why.
Yeah. Damn.
Or maybe we should do it.
I don't know. Get me some passwords. No, that's crazy. It's crazy. I had no idea.
Could you imagine making $1 million in a weekend by taking a couple of nudie pics.
Nah, well, just think about the crazy people that are actually giving you money for that shit. That's a lot of people, or that could be just one guy.
Who knows? But it's it's a worldwide thing.
Yeah, shit, man, it's crazy. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna sign up. Let's see what happens.
You gonna sign up as a content provider?
Yeah. We'll see. We shall see.
I'll take the pictures of you, and then we can split the profits.
All right, we'll see. I don't think anybody's going to contribute any pennies towards me. Trust me. Hey, but we'll see.
In this day and age, you never know. $1 million, that's a lot of people.
Damn, man. I don't know. And what is it? But like per picture that people pay, or you just don't know?
Well, I've never done it, but it's my understanding that you say, hey, if you sign up, I'm going to release a picture a day or every week or a video. Like I don't know.
But you're signing up to that particular person's page.
Yeah, it's like you're signing up to that person's content.
Okay.
And so you get stuff, and I guess it's stuff that you can't find on the internet in other ways.
Yeah.
And because you pay for it, you get, like, I guess they email it to you or something. I don't know. Again, I've never done it, but it's ingenious because.
Yeah, but then how do they prevent them from? Or how do they prevent you from sharing the stuff?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. I don't understand how it works, because with the internet, everything is free.
Yeah. So
you would think if they shared it one time,
that's it.
That is going to get all over the place.
Yeah.
Unless those people, because they're paying for it, they're like, no, I'm not sharing it. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But again, to make $2 million in a weekend, holy smoke.
That's a lot of cash.
We probably shouldn't even talk about it. I don't want to inspire other people to do it.
Yeah. Well, guess what? This is what the podcast is all about, bro.
I'm kind of floored by it. But hey, this is America. This is the kind of stuff that happens in America.
That's it.
You have $1 in a dream, things can happen.
Yeah. Hey, so really quick, what about what you think of like all those sports, stop in protest in regards to all the stuff that's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I say that if you want to protest, that's your right. I think like for the sports the team owners, they're in a tough position, right? Because you have to support your employees. And essentially these athletes, that's what they are, employees. So you want to support them, but you have to find a way to do it in a way that allows them to express themselves and still allows you to make money. Because look, if the sports were already held up because of COVID.
Yeah.
And I understand that I think they canceled some NBA games, NHL, MLS, WNBA. They all kind of like went on hiatus, right? Like did a little bit of protesting. I don't know if it's permanent stoppages in all cases. But you got to make money, and team owners and franchises are losing money, and they work really hard to try to bring the sports back to the general public in a way that's safe, so that they can resume business, entertain the fans, make some money, and it's a tough spot.
No, I get it. See, this is the thing. Like for me, right? So they boycotting certain games, or everybody's slowly boycotting stuff, right?
Like a mass protest kind
of.
It's
mass protest. But when you're boycotting, when you're doing that, you can't just.
But it's not really boycotting. Well, I guess it is. It is. Cases.
I mean, in this particular case, these guys refuse to play, right? In regards to the social justice aspect, right? Okay, so.
But then I think the organizations then were like, you know what? Yeah, we support you. Like we're gonna let you do that. Like,
no, I understand that, but see, this is the thing for me. To me, that's all about like a big show, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you really feel the way you do, you don't just not play for one game and then come back the following day and play. I mean, if you're gonna do that and you really mean it and you really want to get through, then don't play. Period. End of story. No matter what it costs you. But see, again, there goes the double standard in regards to all these things. That you got all these celebrities, all these athletes that do these things. But they don't stick to their guns in regards to what they really feel. That then they'll come back and say, "Oh no, after discussions with such and such or the owner of this and that, we felt that it's best for us to get back." No, motherfucker. The reason why you're going back is because you're losing money. Don't get into all that nonsense. And that's what I'm talking about. Why even do that if you're not going to follow through all the way, right?
Yeah.
You have to be able to give up some shit in order to, for it to resonate, man.
Or. Like, and that's a tough thing, because I think because these people have the ability to have a big platform, their voice can be heard a lot louder, right? So, a basketball player, or let's just say like a football player saying, "Hey, I'm not going to play," by himself, that makes a statement. But if you can get like the whole team to not play, that's a bigger statement. And I think it's good because you get that message out. But to your point, is that the best thing for the franchise at this point? Like I don't know. Is it the best thing for the team? I don't know. If you really want to make a big impact that makes a difference, I mean, yeah, they're using their platform and they're doing that. Could they do more? I always think there's ways to do more. And I love hearing the stories of athletes donating a portion of their salary to specific organizations that help the community, because to me that's where you see the difference. And I really admire those celebrities who do those kinds of things. They set up their foundations, they donate money. To me, that's the stuff. It's like that old proverb or that old adage where they say it's what you're doing when no one's looking that counts the most. All right, it's easy to like say, hey, I'm not going to play right now, but all right, so in 6 months, what are you going to do? Because the problems are still going to be there. What are you going to do in 6 months? Right?
But that's why
because
I say,
you have that power. What are you going to do in 6 months?
Yeah,
You can't keep saying you're not going to play.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, either you're not going to play, period, right, until the problem is fixed, or you decide on doing something else that maybe might work better. Right. Not to say that I'm not going to play, because I'm telling you, man, these guys look like idiots when they come back the next day. They do. I mean, it just does. I mean, these guys, they'll say all this stuff and they'll make their statements and they'll read this, read that. But at the end of the day, they come right back the following day. And what did you accomplish? Absolutely nothing, man. You accomplished absolutely nothing. You're not getting anything done by doing that.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. But like I said, it's I like to see what else people are doing to make a difference. And I think I saw a news report. There's a basketball player for the Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, and I think he had a sneaker deal, and he's donating a portion of the sales, or maybe all of it. I don't know. I think he's donating a portion of the sales to the children of that person, Blake, who was shot.
Yeah.
And so, see, that's the kind of stuff that I think makes a difference. In this case, he's helping this person's family. He's got the funds to be able to do that. And, I would love to see, because all these teams, they play in different different cities around the country. It would be great to see them continue to support the local community to try to make a difference. Because that's the only way things are going to get better. We got to focus on those communities where they need help. There was that video by that Republican, or I think she's running for a Republican seat in Maryland. I think her name is something Klasick, and she's walking the streets of Baltimore.
Yes.
I thought that was a powerful video. I've been to Baltimore a couple of times, but that was pretty powerful in terms of her showing, what it was really like. Is it really like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was something else. And so, there are neighborhoods that need help, and people who have the ability to help should help. Yeah. All the time, not just when something's going down.
Well, that's the problem. The problem is that all these guys that lead these protests, they're only there when something happens, and that's it. But outside of that, they're not involved in anything, man. They're just waiting for that one opportunity to get out there and showcase whatever it is they want to showcase for that one particular incident, and that's it. So yeah, it sucks. But I just, like, again, when it comes to the sports and all that, I just don't get it, man. When you walk off the court or whatever for one game, I mean, come on, man, stay off the court then. I mean, period, end of story, and that's it. I think you'll accomplish something if you do that. And that goes for whatever sport it is, not just in basketball.
Yeah, I'm with you. And with that conversation, there goes our sports sponsorships.
Whatever, man. Whatever, dude. Hey, but listen, man, this is the things that the average folk is looking at. You know what I mean? They see when these athletes get out there, it's great for them. Yeah, they're making the money, they have that platform and all that, right? But an up and coming kid that's just now trying to, he can't do that same thing, man, right? He can't do that, right? He's got to walk the line the right way, because if he doesn't, he'll never get to those, where those guys are right now, right? Yep. And that's the problem. The problem is that when these guys say all this stuff, it's not feasible for a kid that's coming up to do the same thing. And they act like, yes, stand up to this, do it the right way. This is the way we're doing it. Yeah, motherfucker, but guess what? You're already up there. So even if you do get fired, you're still going to be a millionaire. You got all that scratch. What about all these other kids? They go and do that, and they're like, yeah, listen, you know what? We don't need your services over here. And that's what it is. Like, they can close a door on these people just like that. 1, 2, 3. So that's why I say it's. I think they should come up with a different way of doing that. Again, I have no problem, but I just think it should come up in a different way because I don't think athletes, to be honest with you, have the same pull today as they do in the old days. I really don't, man. I just don't. I don't think they do. Especially through this pandemic. Once you're out of sight, out of mind, dude. If you're not around, if you're not doing anything for the people that want to go out there and spend their money, no one's worrying about what LeBron is doing at his house. No one gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying, that he went to the movies, and so if you're not out there performing, right, it's almost like you're performing for us. So if you're not out there performing, out of sight, out of mind, man, I don't give a fuck what you're doing, dude. Right?
That's true. I think where the other part of what's magnifying all this stuff is social media. There's so many social media platforms. I think one of the things that we should consider as a country is everyone taking a break from social media, like a social media blackout for like a week, and just kind of focus on your life and kind of your family, because there's so much stupid stuff out there on social media, and I just don't get it. Hey, here we are, making this podcast because we wanted to do something fun, and share like our experiences and just kind of have some fun out here as we talk about this stuff. But there's people out there doing this on a day-to-day basis via all these little social media apps. But I see some of the things they do, and it just makes me laugh. and some of these are people who like I kind of liked, and I'm just like, wow, I did not know they were that stupid or that shallow or whatever. And then there's some people that I like following, but social media is I think it's starting to turn into a bad word.
I don't know, man. And you know what? I don't see that ending anytime soon. That's a problem.
Oh no!
But that's just the way it is, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I just think that you should just take it with a grain of salt. Don't
take it too seriously, right?
Don't take it too serious. I mean, just like us right now, we're saying what we're saying, right? And it could be our personal feelings or whatever. All right, cool. If you don't like it, all right, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? We can still be friends. But
don't be like Jennifer Garner crying at the end of The Office and videotaping yourself. Did you see that?
Nah. Jennifer Garner?
Jennifer Garner, the actress.
Yeah.
I guess she was like binging The Office, and I guess she went through all of the seasons, and she recorded herself after the finale, like she was like crying.
Come on, man. For real?
I was like, is it a joke or not? But I like Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, I hope it's a joke. Because if it's real, then again, see, now you give another person.
You can cry, but don't videotape yourself.
Yeah, well, and you're gonna cry because The Office is over. I mean, really?
It's not like it's Friends.
I mean, come on, man. Or Game of Thrones, right?
Or Game of Thrones.
But come on, man. I mean, for real, we're gonna cry about that.
No, but you can shed a tear. I'm a sci-fi fan. I shed a tear at the end of
really?
I shed a tear at the end of Star Trek Voyager. I was invested in that series, but I didn't record it.
Bro, this is the reason why I had second thoughts about doing this podcast with you, man. I'm telling you. See, those are the little things, man, that make me second guess this shit.
This is me revealing myself.
I'm fucking believable, man.
I'm showing you that I'm vulnerable.
Oh, man. Come on, man. A tear?
I shed a tear.
Oh, man, you're a nut. You are a nut, man.
All right. Well, listen, I had a great time catching up with you. Time's almost over for this podcast.
Already, man. Already.
And listen, everyone, thanks for the fans who come and listen to our podcast. We're just starting out, but if you're listening, we really appreciate you checking us out. You can find us on Instagram at Out of the Cut.
Bro, come on.
It's late.
There you go. There you go. See, we just lost a whole shitload of fans. Out of the. I can't even say it out. Out of the Cave podcast.
Yes, you can find us on Instagram at Out of the Cave podcast, And you can also find our webpage at outofthecavepodcast.com. And we're going to be posting a bunch of new podcasts and some updates very, very soon. And once again, we hope everyone stays happy and safe and just kind of enjoy your life without all the stress.
Yeah. And also, if you have any comments, once again, good or bad, just feel free to leave us a message there at the website, and we look forward to reading those. And I look forward to reading once again. I always say the ones that are gonna be cursing me out and tell me all kinds of crazy shit, but I enjoy that stuff. And there you go. You see, I don't take things personal, man.
Exactly. All right,
guys. So thanks a lot for joining us today.
Take care, everyone.
You got it. Bye.